Okay, so here are the rails, and here is our show.
Completely off. Completely gone today. What in the world? Derailed.
Yay, you're here. Welcome to the CK and GK podcast. Let's get going.
Chicken to China to Chinese Tuesday.
Oh my God. Yes. Because I'm all about value. Oh my goodness. You're welcome.
Oh,
man.
it's Tuesday.
Keanu Reeves films. Oh my gosh, so many fun lines from that song. It's Tuesday. We're so glad you're here. Today we are not just singing Bare Naked Ladies songs. We are talking about back to school shopping, what to get, when to get it, and our favorite hacks for getting those things. So stay tuned. We've got some good information for you.
But first, I'm Jenny, and with me is Caitlin. We'll call her the cherry today because she's red, she's sweet, she's a little tart, and I just can't get enough.
Oh, thank you, you commandingly luminescent model. You're so gorgeous, Jenny.
Thanks. I like that one.
You're welcome.
Luminescent.
Luminescent and model. And commandingly.
I mean,
they don't
right?
go together, but somehow Leslie Knope makes it work. Anyway,
yes.
What's going on? Let's talk.
I do have to give you some bad news.
Oh, no.
We lost a clownfish.
No, you lost a clownfish.
The boy didn't make it. And I'm afraid the
so
girl is going
sorry.
to die of a broken heart.
Uh-oh. Can you get another clownfish?
They come as a bonded pair.
Oh, no. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we're watching her. She made it through the night, but I don't know. But that's not what I'm obsessed with. That's just what I'm having to watch all the time.
Oh, okay.
What I'm obsessed with right now is my new toilet seats. Okay?
As one is, right? Yes.
I have been
Does it have a cushion in it, like one of those really
Ew,
like an old
no. Okay, that's where I was going to go with this conversation. Is I have been asking John forever to put new toilet seats on. Like, even when we moved into this house, we did not put new toilet seats on. So it's like the old owner's toilet seats. And we've lived here for 5 years. Like, they just get gross. Okay? You cannot wash them enough. Like, they start to yellow or they flake or whatever. It's nasty.
Ew.
And for $30 or $40, like, I'm totally willing to change the toilet seats.
Yeah.
So I've been begging and begging and begging. We went to the Blue store to buy toilet seats.
Okay.
And he was like, oh, let's get this cushioned one. I'm like, no, that's nasty. It's like a pee-pee sponge. I don't want it.
Pee-pee sponge.
And then he says, well, what about the wooden ones? And I was like, no, I grew up in a house with wooden toilet seats. They crack and then they like absorb. It's disgusting. I said, no. We are getting plastic.
Yeah.
Now, because he spends more time in the downstairs bathroom than the upstairs bathrooms, we did spring for the nicer toilet seat in the downstairs bathroom. Still not cushioned because I said that's nasty.
It's got to be a throne. It's a throne for a reason.
Yes, right? But the downstairs one is a little bit fancier than the upstairs ones, but that's what I'm obsessed with. The other thing is, and this just happened yesterday, John is a religious listener of the Dan Patrick Show. You already know this. Uncle Dan, you call him Father Dan. It's a thing.
Right. Yes.
Okay. So the playlist a couple of episodes ago was quintessential 90s songs.
Ooh.
So John and I, of course, are like making our own playlist.
Yeah.
And thinking of it. So I am challenging you now, Caitlin.
Yes.
What would you put on your quintessential 90s playlist? It does not have to be an exhaustive list. I will let you go back and edit if you need to.
Closing Time by Semisonic has to be on there.
That came up. Between us. I don't know what's on the official list. I didn't listen to the Dan Patrick Show.
Okay. Probably Green Day, although I don't care if I hear Green Day anymore. Like, it just, not that they're not talented. it got burned into my brain in the 90s, and I just don't
Right.
need it anymore.
When I Come Around is the only song I know how to play on guitar because
that's
I
probably the
grew up
only
in
one
the
I can
Portland
still tolerate.
area
Yeah,
and they taught us in music class. Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the only one I can still tolerate listening to without like immediately changing the radio station. I would say Smells Like Teen Spirit needs to be on there.
That was my first guess.
Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. It's the song where...
Hit Me Baby One More Time?
No, I'm thinking more like 90s rock. Like there's a kid who's asked, "Oh, tell me all your thoughts on God." What is that song called? Tell me all your thoughts on God. What is the name of that song?
Because I'd really like to see him.
Yeah, that one. Ask her why we're who we are.
Is that Counting Blue Cars?
Yes, it's Dishwalla, Counting Blue Cars. That one needs to be on there. Filters, Take My Picture needs to be on there, which is such a good song, and I think it's incredibly underrated, and Filter was so good, and yeah. Do you know that? Have you heard that song? You know what song I'm talking about?
I'm sure I know it, but I cannot think of it.
'Cause you don't want to take my picture.
Oh, yes.
That song.
Yes.
Yeah, so that song is about him, like, being drunk and high on an airplane.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but
I
yeah.
can't
so there's-
imagine like a more uncomfortable place for those things to happen. I
Well,
have been
that's
drunk
where
on
the
a
song-
plane one time and it was terrible.
Never again. I have been
Coming back
hungover
from
drunk.
Vegas and
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, I have been hungover drunk, like still drunk. That's how I have been on it, and
Yeah,
it's the
no.
worst. It is the
No,
worst.
it's one
Never
thing
again.
to like sip a drink on the plane, and let me tell you, Air New Zealand, it's unlimited free cocktails, so we did take advantage of that.
Yeah,
But getting to the point of drunk on the plane is so awful.
yeah,
It
that's
is
not
so
for me.
awful.
No, that's not for me. I've done the like when we go to London and we are flying over there, they'll give you a glass of wine. So I've done that on the plane, but
Right.
I just don't get drunk on planes. It's not my thing.
Yeah, no. And
It's
if you
awful.
don't have a drink at the airport bar, like, are you even depressed? Come on.
I've gotten to the point now where I don't need to have a drink at the airport bar, but if it's the evening, I'll do it.
If I'm traveling with
fine.
my family, no. But if I'm traveling
If I'm by
with just John
myself-
or by myself, you betcha.
Yeah,
Double it
depends on
up,
the time of
honey.
day. Yeah, if it depends on the time of day, but I've been known. We can come back to this because I feel like there's more, but I think I got a decent start here.
Okay, well,
if we're
I
talking about
said-
90s pop, I'll add to it. but
Well,
I
and
was
that's
thinking
it.
more
Is
90s
I
rock.
felt like we needed to like span the genres. So I'm telling
okay.
you, I went for quintessential. I was thinking not just like popular in the 90s, but like made a stand in the 90s. Okay.
Oh,
So this
Genie
is
in a
why my
Bottle.
first guess would be Smell Like Teen Spirit because it completely changed the face of music. Genie in a
100%.
Bottle or Hit Me Baby One More Time. I wasn't really kidding. But the one that I am going to stand by and I don't know anyone else will support is Mbop by Hanson.
You know they just redid that song. You know that there's another. They just re-recorded that song.
No, they
Hanson
didn't.
did. Yeah, I swear they did.
Was it their
Yes.
kids?
No, it's them.
I'm just
They
saying, like, they got to be our age or older.
Those boys, I think the older ones were older than us, and I think that the youngest one was about our age.
Okay, so that's hilarious. Like, hey,
But
Dad,
yes.
what are you doing today? Oh, I'm going to go re-record my one hit with my brothers.
Listen, if NSYNC can come back and do stuff, then so can Hanson. No big deal.
I also thought Cop Killer by Ice-T. Not because I love the song, but because it was all over the news.
That's true. I'm now thinking of Flagpole Sitta by Harvey Danger.
See? And
and I still know every word to that song, and I'm very proud of it. It's like a karaoke song that I would rock out. I would.
well,
kill that
and if
song.
we're going to do karaoke, know every word, John was like, how about Ice Ice Baby?
See, I don't know every word to that song, but I could get pretty close. Also, Push It. I could do that one.
And of course, Spice Girls, I think, need to be on the list.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Also, like, talk about a tangent. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to derail us.
It is okay.
But if you are a listener who was alive in the 90s, tweet at us, DM us, tell us what you would put on your quintessential 90s playlist. And
Yeah, I need
maybe
to
in a
hear
couple of weeks, we will publish one.
Oh my gosh. I'm here for it. We're
Okay.
gonna do it. Let's do this. Let's put our list together. We'll start
Right.
collaborating now.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Great. All right. So that's your obsession. I'm into it. I'm just gonna randomly yell out song titles in the middle of our conversation today, and I feel it coming. So if it happens, just know that's what I'm doing. So my current obsession right now is my colleagues, and I've talked about them before. They're very special people, but like we live all over the country. We've got 2 in Atlanta.
All Star by Smash Mouth.
There it is.
Okay, sorry, keep
There it
going.
is. No, you're good. 2 in Atlanta, 1 in Pennsylvania, 1 in New Jersey, 1 in Denmark.
Dude, what?
Copenhagen. Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
And this
she's an expat.
okay, I was just
She's
gonna
an
say
expat. Yeah.
she is in Denmark, and she's like, so I got all these workers in America, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm guessing if you're in another
the
country, you don't
States.
like name the states.
No, you just the states. Although they
Right.
do know more about our states than we do about their country. It's crazy.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Because we're so self-centered. We need them to know. Otherwise, it would be like, wait, you don't know what Texas is?
Oh, ramp it up in Texas too, because we were our own country one time, so we're real self-important.
March 2nd,
Yeah,
1836.
happy birthday, Texas. Anyway, so we're just all over the place, and we don't really ever get to, see each other. So this is the second year in a row now that I've gone to the giant ed tech conference called ISTE. Last year it happened in New Orleans. This year it was in Philadelphia, and we have a good time together during the day, like on Slack when we're all in our respective home offices.
Right.
But then getting together and actually being with these people, it was such a
it's
good
so different.
experience. It was so different, but but it felt just as comfortable and happy. And it really solidified like how much I like these people, right? Like
I am so
I'm very
happy to
lucky.
hear you say that.
Yeah.
The
It
people
was-
are so important in the work.
Right. And it's like we worked very long days, like very long
conferences are terrible.
days. They're really hard, and I mean my colleagues got to see my hyperfixation as I was assembling a booth.
Nice.
They were like, "Okay, you need to stop and take a break," and I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. It's okay." And I wasn't taking.
I'm
going
to
to
sleep for 14 hours after I finish this, but I have to get it done first.
But I had to get it done first. And they were very much like, you need to take a break. And I was like, nope, I'm okay. I couldn't. And so they got to see all that, but also like, they were very much like, okay, now you're going to step away with me. Like we all just did a good job of trying to take care of one another. And it was really, really special. And then when we got to go out and be together, we had a great time just relaxing and laughing and all of that. So they're my obsessions right now. They're such great people, and I'm very fortunate to be working with them. It's really special.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Time for my favorite part of the show. The gem of the week. Mine comes courtesy of my 4-year-old, which has happened in the past. And I am going to set the scene for you. We are at a coffee shop. We are sitting outside because it is not yet 95 degrees. 94, sit outside. 95, inside. We're sitting at the picnic table and we are playing cards. John, Kit, and me. Abby is at a class and we're just killing time while she finishes up her class. And we are playing what you would imagine to be a normal card game with a 4-year-old. We've taught him the rules. We're playing the game. And at one point in the game, Kit just throws his hand down and says, "This game is way too complicated." It was Go Fish. I was like, I don't know a less complicated game. Like,
Right.
I'm sorry. This is
Right.
besides like, look at the cards or 52 pickup. I don't know what's least
Right.
complicated.
Oh, no. Poor baby. It'll take some time, but he'll get better at it. Oh, I can just see the frustration.
It was great.
Yeah. Okay, so here's me once again not paying attention to my surroundings. So I mentioned I was in Philadelphia for this conference. One of my colleagues and I, we were the nuts last year who decided we were going to get up early despite having gone out and like been out with clients and imbibing too much.
Yes.
We were the ones who were like, we're going to go work out in the morning. So last year we worked out in a gym in the hotel gym and ended up getting COVID from the hotel gym. This year we decided we were going to go for walks outside. I should mention that I did still get COVID from this conference, but it wasn't from the
we
hotel gym.
We have a saying
because
at A&M, Texas A&M.
Yeah.
The friendliest campus of the world. We have a saying, if it happens twice, it's a tradition.
I'm 2 for 2.
Yeah.
So here we go. Yeah. So this year we decided we're going to go for walks outside.
Nice.
Smart, right? We're like, we're going to avoid COVID by not going to the hotel gym. We're going to go outside and walk. So
did you walk at a playground in West Philadelphia?
No, but I did decide to spend some time chilling out, Max, and relaxing, all cool. I did.
Silver platter,
in between,
by the way.
Right, in between all of my working. So the first day we went for a walk, we found a dog park. We got obsessed with the dogs and all that stuff. But the second day we were like, you know what? Let's just take a straighter route. It'll be fine. And we're walking through central Philly, which is a beautiful area, and it's such an old city, right? It's a cool city. It's a very cool city. Lots of cool buildings. Walk by Love Park, all these cool places, and we get to the art museum. And so, yeah. Here's how non-self-aware both of us
okay, I'm
were.
done.
Here's how non-self-aware both of us were. We're looking across the street. We're like, oh, those are pretty. Do you want to go run the steps? Let's just go see.
Oh my God.
We go over there. We're like, let's run them. Let's not walk. Let's just run them. So we run the steps. And then I was like, I wonder if these are the Rocky Steps. Jenny.
There is a statue.
Well, we walked past it and we missed it. And what's hilarious about it is that we walked across the crosswalk that directly runs you right into the statue. Okay.
That is hilarious.
So then we turn the corner and there's signage everywhere that's like Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. And we get to the top of the stairs and there's gold shoes embedded into the... And both of us are like, these are so cool. And I'm going, I feel like these are the Rocky Steps. They might be the Rocky Steps. And then we see all these people taking pictures and they're all excited and stuff. And I'm like, well,
and flexing.
There's gotta be a reason. Right. And doing the arm pump when they get to the top. And we both are just like, wait, I wonder if... And then finally we look down and we're like, oh my God, we're so stupid. Yes, these are the Rocky Steps, literally signage everywhere. We're finally seeing it. And I'm so embarrassed that I had no idea. But then here's where I really nerded out. This is what a dork I am. My boss goes, now I actually need to watch the movie, which made me laugh so hard. Because it was it's not a thing for a lot of women to have watched the Rocky movies. It's not, you know what I mean? It's just, a lot of us just didn't really ever care. But I dorked out because I used to do a boxing workout all the time, and
with chickens.
No, no. It was Joel on Beachbody.
Yeah.
And he goes to all these places on his boxing tour. They go to the market in Dallas, that open air market that the stock whatever market is. Not the stock market. That's a different thing. But you know what I'm talking about. Thank you. And then he goes to some really famous boxing gym in Brooklyn that I can't remember the name of now. And then they end up on the Rocky Steps for their last workout. They are on the Rocky Stairs doing it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is where my boxing workout was videotaped, is right here. I felt so dumb saying that out loud. Really stupid. Really stupid.
So I did a similar thing when I was in college. I was at the mall in College Station. Okay, that's the name of the town. College Station. Because there's nothing else there except Texas A&M University. Mm-hmm. And then the businesses that have grown around the school. Mm-hmm. But the name of the town is the train station that brought people to the school.
Right.
I'm at the mall. And I saw someone wearing an A&M t-shirt, and I ran up to her, and I was like, oh my God, you go to A&M? Me too.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and the other 50,000 people who live in this town.
All of us go there.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah.
I can't believe this is where my video was made.
Oh, I nerded out so hard. I'm like, they're standing right here and they're throwing combinations, and I'm like I felt so stupid, and then when I walked down the stairs and I'm like, oh my God, literally Rocky, here's the Rocky like shoe prints in gold in the concrete, and here's like Rocky sign here, Rocky sign there. Oh, look, there's the Rocky statue. I missed all of that walking up and had the audacity to speculate, I wonder if these are the Rocky stairs.
That is so funny.
And they were. So,
I've been to Philadelphia a couple of times. One of them, I was 8 weeks pregnant with Abigail.
Oh my goodness.
And ran those stairs.
Ooh, good for you.
And almost puked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. Being pregnant and running the stairs.
Yeah.
No.
And I was in that part of the pregnancy where it's like, all you do is puke.
Right. And if you don't like immediately roll over and shove a saltine into your face the second you wake up, you're going to throw up. Yeah, I gotcha.
That's when I ate nothing but corn tortillas for an entire week because that's all I could keep down.
Ooh, corn tortillas?
Corn tortillas.
Did you also suck down like a ton of water at the same time? That would be so drying.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh. Oh, man. Okay, well, that's my gem. Just me
Love it.
not paying attention to the world around me as per usual.
All right. So we have to chit chat before we get our job done. But we are here to do a job. And we are here today to talk to you about back to school shopping because that time is coming.
Yes.
And we have broken it down into a couple of different topics underneath back to school shopping. And so the first thing I want to address is school supplies.
Do it.
And I'm going to curse. I'm sorry, but you just got to buy the damn list. Okay. If the school has published a list and it's at your grocery store or they email it out or whatever, just buy everything on the list. Buy the brand that they tell you because that teaching team has agonized over that list to make sure that everything on it is what you need for the year. So just buy it.
A lot of teachers, teams in particular, they're very mindful of like the pushback that a lot of parents were giving them about like, don't buy extra stuff because I'm not paying to supply my, the entire class with my money. Everything that you buy is going to be utilized by your child. It's not like you're funding the entire class supply list. You're not doing that. I will say if you can send extra supplies, those are always going to be appreciated. It's a great thing to do because there are kids who struggle to get everything
of
on
course
the list, and no one's gonna stop you from doing that. If you can be extra generous and send tissues, always appreciated. I will say one other thing. This is my favorite thing that my child's school does. They've partnered with a school supply company to package.
Oh, where you buy the kit.
You buy the kit all at once,
so
and it's like $50 for all of the supplies for the entire school year. And it's like, second grade boys, second grade girls. It doesn't even, I don't even know why it makes a difference if they're boys versus girls, but
they might have girls buy tissues and boys buy hand sanitizer or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. But it is such a good idea. It seems like it's going to be more expensive. I promise you it's not more expensive. Just buy the kit. Do that if that's an option.
Oh, yeah. If that's an option, I always take it. It's so good.
Saves and most of the time they get shipped directly to the school. So it's just sitting there on your kid's desk and you don't have to do anything with it. It's perfect.
And it also solves the problem of like yellow folder with Brad's.
Right, because you're not hunting down, and usually what happens is the reason you don't get the things on the list is because you've already gone to 2 stores, you can't find the thing that you need, and you're just like, you know what? Any yellow folder is fine. When really, it's not fine because the teacher is asking for that particular thing for a reason, and we get your frustration over that. So just buy the kit if you can. It's just easier.
That's awesome. Now, if there's not a kit and you're having a hard time finding the yellow folder with Brad's, I suggest that you actually tell the teacher that you're having a hard time finding the yellow folder with Brad's because they might have a backup plan. They might say, oh, well, we actually aren't using orange for anything. So go ahead and grab an orange and throughout the year, I'll say yellow or orange. Or they'll say, oh, don't buy it. Let me see if I can find it somewhere else. And then I'll let you know where it is. So
good call.
Just email. It's fine. And the chances of your student using the school supplies on the very first day of school is so small. So if you have the teacher's contact information and can say, hey, I just couldn't find the clear plastic ruler. All I can find is the pink plastic ruler. Oh, don't worry about it. We're not going to use rulers for another 3 weeks. Just keep your eye out when you go to the grocery store.
Yep.
Perfect. Just contact. Okay.
Yep.
The next thing is clothing.
Yes.
Now, this wisdom comes from my mother. We would always go back to school shopping before school started, and she would let us buy 1 or 2 outfits.
Yeah.
This is when we were older, right? If you're sending your kid to kinder or first grade, like, just buy the clothes, right? You do the brand with the animals that everything matches or whatever. Yeah. And if you happen to be lucky enough to send your children to a school that's uniformed, yes. Love it. How easy is that? But if your children are older, just buy a couple of new outfits. And the reason that my mom used to do this was she would let us go to school for a week, see what our friends were wearing, and then go shopping that first weekend after school started to buy clothes that quote unquote fit in.
My jaw just dropped open. That is brilliant. Why have I not thought about that before? Oh my gosh.
And she would say, look, I know that I'm either going to buy you things that you aren't going to wear, or you're going to have a hard time choosing. Mm-hmm. So buy yourself a couple of outfits for the first week, and we'll go shopping after that.
Yep. I love it.
If you live in Texas, tax-free weekend is August the 11th through the 13th. Mm-hmm. And there are so many things that are tax-free that weekend. You can just Google tax-free weekend Texas, and it will tell you exactly what is on sale. School supplies, clothing, backpacks, tons of stuff are tax-free that weekend. You just have to look into it.
That's smart.
Even if it's hot. Okay. We happen to live in a state where, like I said, 95 you sit inside, 94 you sit out. Even if it's hot, consider getting a light jacket or a sweatshirt, because if it's hot outside, it's air conditioned inside, and it might be too cold for your kid in the classroom.
Yeah. At least in Texas, that's going to be the situation for sure. I know that there are some schools that don't have air conditioning, and I
went to one.
Again, yeah,
we went in the morning and the evening, and then we took the afternoons off because there was no air conditioning in the building.
Because it was too hot. Yeah, and I get that. But it does get chilly in those buildings. This is that time of year where like people blast the AC so hard that when you step outside for a split second, it actually feels good for like the first 5 minutes, and then you're like, all right, now I'm sweating.
I'm sweating again.
Right. But definitely consider something light to send with your kid. Can we skip ahead to something real quick? Yes. I see that you have this on the list. While we're talking about clothes, can we talk about labeling everything?
Oh my gosh. If it layers, it labels.
You have to label everything, right?
It doesn't matter how old your kid is. I promise you, if they're in middle school, they're going to lose their sweatshirt. Write their name on it. Because the thing is, when it gets found, if it has the kid's name,
they bring it back. They'll give it back to them.
Often gets returned to the kid before it goes to lost and found.
Yeah, they'll bring it back. The number of times that we've lost stuff and then like it just shows up in his backpack the next day because it had his name on it and they just returned it. It was so helpful. So helpful. But there's a couple ways you can do this to make your life a little easier. Yes, you can write names with a marker if you want. However, there are companies that make stickers with your kid's name on them, and you can customize the stickers to look however you want. Like Sam liked these frog ones, so we got frog stickers, and it has his name on it, and we just slap it on everything. Mabel's Labels is one. Name Bubbles is another. There's tons of companies like that.
Right.
What I
used to buy them from Inchbug. I don't even know if they're still in business. But.
Yeah. You can also get them at like the grocery store, I think, and they're blank, and you just write the name on them with a marker, and then you stick it on there. It's not a big deal. What I love for clothing is name stamps.
Yes.
And it's just like an ink stamp that you put on the clothes, and it just, you just don't even have, all you do is just stamp. I used to stamp the inside of his cloth masks with that.
That is so smart.
And it was amazing because I didn't have to worry about a sticker like peeling off or anything like that. The stickers don't really peel off of the clothing that much. They do sometimes, but like they stick really well to most plastic things. But in terms of cloth, you just want something that's going to be easy. The ink doesn't rub out. The ink doesn't smudge. It's all great.
No, it's designed for that job.
Yeah, it's great. I would highly recommend it. But in terms of school supplies, when you're labeling things, only label the things that your teacher tells you to. Some stuff will be communal. You don't need to write names on Kleenex boxes. Like, let's be, sometimes crayons get dumped into a communal situation. But so just pay attention to what they ask you to label and what they don't ask you to label. But for the most part, especially if your child's in elementary school, they'll help you with the labeling piece. They've usually got stickers, they print them all out, and they have the kids stick it all over everything. So it'll work out fine.
The other thing you should not put names on, don't put your child's full name on their backpack. I am the monogram queen. You know this about me.
I do.
But I do not put my kid's name on their backpack, just their initials. The reason is safety.
Yeah.
If Abby's wearing a backpack that says Abby, someone knows her name now.
Yeah. And then they can use it to call to her.
They can use it to call
pretend
her.
that they know her. Yeah.
Right. So I did put her full name on her lunchbox because it's going inside the backpack.
Yep.
But the backpack itself, just a monogram.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Or you could put something that's like kind of unique to that. Like Sam's backpack has a interesting like patch that I had.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Monogrammed onto it. So like it has his initials on it too, but it also has this extra special thing that he wanted added onto it. So we did that. And so at this point now, he's had that backpack for a few years, and everybody knows that it's his, and it's got that patch on it.
That's super smart.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
talk
speaking of
about
lunches.
Yeah.
You need to practice every new container before the start of school.
Mm-hmm.
Unless your child has an age that is double digits, practice every container. Yep. And you can do it in a sly way, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to say like, hey, can you open your thermos? Put something in it. Put it in the fridge. And when your kid says, I'm hungry or thirsty, say, oh, there's a container of snack in the fridge. Go grab it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're practicing opening it. The reason is not just because teachers have to open it. It's because they have to wait for a teacher to open it.
Yep. And
okay, so this is not me saying I don't want to open things. I have opened plenty of things. And let me tell you, my first question, can you open this? Has it been in your mouth? I have to ask that every time.
Ew.
But it's not about whether or not I want to open things. It's about the idea that your kid might have only 15 minutes to eat with travel time and clean up. They don't want to spend 3 of those minutes waiting for someone to come and open their container.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time. They really don't have time for that. We, when we were practicing, like for like the week leading up to school, when there was no camp or anything like that, I put his lunch in there every time. So
That's
I started
so smart.
like, he's got like a bento box. So I started just by using the bento box itself, the divided pieces.
Right.
Just that as a plate. And I put everything in there and he had to go through and pick out his stuff. And then I started to put it in the container that it went into. And I didn't shut it all the way, but I did have it closed. And then the next day I latched it and then he could leave it open. And the day after that I latched it, but then he had to close it up again to put it back into his lunchbox. So I just eased him into it. And it was a really, really great way to do that. And it seemed like he figured it out pretty quickly. The other thing is we always sent him with one of those, like, it's like a baby food, like smoothie pouch thing just to get a little extra fruit into him. And it goes fast and he can kind of have one hand on that while he eats a snack and then the other, you know what I mean?
Right.
We have to make him practice opening those too. Yeah. And any kind of, if you're going to send him to school with a granola bar, make them practice opening the granola bar on their own. The things that you don't think about, like if you always open the granola bars, you need to have them hand it to them and say, look, here's how I do it. See this part that has black on it? That's where you pull and see what happens. And they can do it. You just have to give them a chance to try. So
when it comes to food, you got to have some real conversations with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want food coming back in the lunchbox, have that conversation. Oh. My daughter is almost 12 and I still have to tell her, if you didn't eat it, throw it out.
Yeah.
By the time it has sat in your lunchbox for an entire school day, it is no longer edible. So I don't want it back. Unless it's like a closed bag of chips or something.
If it's a closed something, that's different.
But like, if you didn't eat the sushi, you toss it.
Oh, see, and with my child, it's different. I actually want him to bring it back because he's on medication that kind of suppresses his appetite. So I want to know.
Right? There
what
you
he
go.
is and
That's what I'm
isn't
saying. You
eating
got to
during
have the
day.
conversation.
Yeah. So we've talked about how, like, don't throw out snack if you don't eat it. Like, if it's closed up still, please don't throw it away. Just put it back in your backpack and we'll look at it later. But, like, definitely having those conversations is important. Some kids are going to bring it home no matter what. So if you really want them to stop doing that, you do need to say, this is what you're going to bring home. This is what you're not going to bring home. And then you're going to practice, like, at home. Okay, look at your tray. Is it full of food? If your tray is full of food, what do we do with it? And just reinforce it as much as you can.
We had
Otherwise,
fruit flies in our
some
car.
nasty stuff. Ew, gross.
It was so gross because on a Friday, she didn't eat her whole lunch.
And she left it in the
car all weekend. It was so gross. She's
nasty.
Like, stop bringing it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I get it.
Oy.
I totally understand. Right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're trying to keep track or whatever, like, yeah, bring it back. This is our conversation. This is what we're going to do.
Yep.
All right. That's all I got. And I know that the lunch kind of moved away from shopping, but it starts with, if you're going to buy new containers, just practice with them. I don't even know what to say. My kid packs her own lunch now. I just told her, look, I can't do it. And we have an arrangement that it's $1 extra per day that I have to pack her lunch. So on Monday, it's $1. On Tuesday, it's $2. On Wednesday, it's $3. On Thursday, it's $4.
Whoa.
So by the end of the week, she doesn't go to school on Fridays. By the end of the week, if I've packed all of her lunches, she owes me $10.
Dang.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And I buy her whatever she needs. We go to the grocery store on the weekend together. We make a plan. And I'm happy to help her prepare. Like, she loves to bring veggie sushi. It's like super easy.
I'm impressed.
Avocado, cucumber. We just roll it up on Sunday night. It saves all week in the fridge. It's fine. And I'm happy to help her do that. But my disdain for packing in the morning. It's one more thing.
Yeah, no.
And I said, you know what? I'm just
do
not
it at
doing it
night.
anymore.
I do it at night.
Yeah. I just said, I'm
awful.
not doing it anymore. You pack your own lunch or
Yeah.
you pay me $1.
Yeah, it's the worst. Okay. Well, I hope that this episode was helpful for you. Again, these are just a few of the things that we learned over the years, and we can definitely provide more. If there's interest, please let us know. And please do send us your 90s stuff.
Yeah.
The 90s songs. I'm really interested in it. Now I have... Oh my goodness. Now I have Counting Blue Cars in my head. Alanis Morissette needs to be in there somewhere.
Oh, yes.
All right. Guys, make good song choices.
Man, turn 98. All right.
Oh, man.
Like Caitlin said, make good choices.
And good luck with back to school shopping.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.